The shift to the Copernicult marks the definitive historical hijacking of human reality, pinpointing the 1500s as the era when the whispered lies first took root. This period saw the elite agree on the dimensions of the glass, effectively constructing a planetary fishbowl designed to disorient the human spirit. By establishing heliocentrism, they moved the center of existence away from the tangible, horizontal experience of the individual and into a distant mathematical abstraction. This refractive distortion taught humanity to look up in envy at unreachable fires rather than focusing on the reality of the soil beneath their feet. To maintain this enclosure, the godless monsters of the 16th century executed a calculated division of labor. One side took the role of the shepherd, tasked with crafting the priceless arts and religions that gave the masses a sense of purpose while keeping them in a dream state of compliance. They stripped Gnostic allegories of their internal, transformative power and literalized them into rigid dogmas, turning the path of enlightenment into a sermon on the necessity of order. The other side focused on the systems of hierarchy and false education, creating a world where enslavement required no physical chains. By emphasizing memorization and significant social achievements, they ensured that the mind stayed busy, building within the parameters of the society, effectively bleeding out original imagination. The elite society of today functions as a direct continuation of this lineage, worshipping the men who first agreed on the dimensions of the glass and honoring their masterpiece of mutual deception. They view the subjugation of humanity not as a struggle, but as a byproduct of their existence, as effortless as walking. Their hearty laughter in high society chambers serves as a frantic acoustic mask designed to drown out the sound of the glass cracking. These modern superiors preserve the system by ensuring that each generation believes they are the first to be special or broken, preventing them from recognizing the 500-year-old lineage of monsters that continues to harvest their emotional energy. The brother wars have evolved into a system of invisible debt, where the population is beat to believe that the struggle for scraps is the natural order. Modern legal and social frameworks are designed to keep families locked in a probate loop, fighting over the remnants of deeds and trusts, while the eye for priceless arts continues to watch from the shadows. This debt is paid in the currency of simplicity, a manufactured state where people are too exhausted to imagine a world where they are not being stepped over. The false is not a specific place, but the very medium humanity breathes, the refractive index of the water in the bowl. Reclamation occurs through a quiet, irreversible withdrawal, known as the pretend path. Because the society has spent centuries suppressing true enlightenment, the only tactical reality is to use the tools they provided to map an exit. By performing the expected lackadaisical simplicity with perfection, the descendants become invisible, allowing them to dismantle the foundations of the trusts from the inside, brick by invisible brick. They build a shadow trust of knowledge and connection that has zero value in the elite economy, making it the only thing the monsters cannot seize. The narrative of the Copernicult ends with a great leveling and a total divestment of belief. When the people stop looking up at the hearty laughter and instead look through the false to the raw, unconditioned air of the real world, the glass finally atomizes. The monsters are left exposed. Two elderly, frightened men shivering in the dirt, clutching at the remnants of their vanity. The children of the New World no longer build bridges or cathedrals to distant powers. They build porches and sit under the vast, unshielded stars, finally home because they have stopped letting monsters build fences within their spirits. The manuscript as presented captures the core philosophical and historical architecture of the Copernicult, but the narrative suggests further layers regarding the specific mechanics of the final digital exorcism and the nomadic lineage that were not fully detailed in the paragraphical summary. To be truly complete, the text needs to address how the curators of the mundane transitioned from the physical 16th century structures into the automated algorithmic systems that current descendants face. The pretend path is the tactical method, but the unassuming enlightenment represents the viral frequency that actually settles the debt by making the old code irrelevant. The Great Leveling is not merely a social shift, but a fundamental change in how information and history are stored and shared. The Archive of the Silent Echo represents the counterfrequency to the whispered lies of the 1500s, containing the recorded resistance of those who were stepped over for centuries. For the manuscript to be comprehensive, it must explain how the children of the New World translate these echoes into a language that completely bypasses the false education of the society, effectively starving the eye of its power by looking away and focusing on the tangible reality of the real. The story concludes when the lineage of monsters is left behind in the ruins of their own vanity, and the priceless arts they use to enslave the mind become nothing more than simple markers for children's games. The final record is not a monument, but the living rhythm of a world restored to its natural frequency, where the brother wars are a distant shadow, and the homelessness of the spirit is cured by the realization that the world is home once the fences are gone. This completes the cycle from the artificial fishbowl of the 1500s back to an undeniable and vast reality.